What's up, everybody? It's me, Chris. Once again, here to talk about last night's HBO Boxing After Dark fights. Real quick before I do that, though, I want to recommend you guys check out a YouTube channel named called Leave It in the Ring. That's one word, Leave It in the Ring. I'll probably put a little attachment at the bottom or something, or a link or something, so you guys can go check that out. It's 97 Rough Dave, if you guys know who he is. His new boxing channel on here. It's kind of like a radio version of a boxing program. It's pretty much more, it's geared to you guys as fans. You guys can hopefully participate in the future as well. And he just does kind of roundtables with other YouTube boxing fans, subscribers, whatnot, people that have shows. So I really recommend checking it out, though. It's really good stuff, and Dave's doing a lot of good stuff for the YouTube and the boxing community out there, trying to get the fans more involved. So recommend checking it out. Anyways, on to the fights. First up, last night, we had Alfredo Angullo against Cosme Rivera. Angullo wins by a TKO in the 5th round. The first thing that jumped out to me in this fight was the size difference. I didn't realize how much bigger Angullo was going to be. Cosme Rivera actually came in a pound smaller, I believe, lighter than what he weighed in at. And I don't remember the last time I've ever seen, if I've ever seen that in a fight, where the fighter came in lighter than the actual weight he was the day before. Anyhow, the way the fight played out with their weight, coming into the ring last night, you had pretty much a middleweight fighting a welterweight. And the size difference, you could definitely tell inside the ring. It was obvious. But anyways, in the fight, got to say, Cosme was doing pretty good to begin with. He was giving Angullo a lot of trouble with his movement. He was landing a lot of clean shots on Angullo. He actually cut Angullo over the eye. And I believe the referee ruled that it was a punch, when in actuality it was caused by a headbutt. So if the fight had been stopped, it would have been a TKO, unfortunately, because the ref had made the wrong call, or the wrong distinction of how the cut actually occurred. But fortunately, that didn't happen. Angullo ended up wearing out Cosme, taking him to his body, overwhelming him, and ended up getting a TKO in the 5th round. As far as the thing with the cut, this also happened later in the fight, another incident. They were discussing whether or not they should get replay, and maybe they should. I mean, the announcers or the people broadcasting can, they should be unbiased, and they obviously could point out right away that it was caused by a headbutt, whether a cut is caused by a headbutt or a punch. So, this way we won't have any fighters getting unjustly screwed, for lack of a better word, when it comes to fights ending early, possibly based on cuts. Anyhow, Angullo looked all right. He didn't really look too good. He got hit quite a bit. And, Cosme just tired out. Angullo, like I said, took it to him. And Cosme took this fight on really late notice. So that ended up being his detriment. The announcers were going really crazy saying it should be stopped when briefly before it was. I don't think Rivera was in that bad of shape, but I think it got stopped right about the right time. Anyhow, Angullo looked alright, but I don't know. If he would have fought Mayorga, I'm really curious how the fight would have played out. I think Angullo would have won, but I think Mayorga could give him some problems based on what I saw of last night's fight. So, anyhow, moving on. Interim WBC junior middleweight title between Sergio Martinez and Kermit Cintron. This fight, I had picked Cintron to win, but it turned out to be a draw, majority draw. I completely disagree with the verdict, to be honest. I thought I had Martinez winning. I didn't really judge the rounds, round by round. I should have. But the bottom line is I thought Martinez won this fight easily, and there's a couple things I want to talk about this fight, though, real quick, in regards to it. First off, the round 7 was insane in the end. Cintron gets knocked down by a punch, claimed it was a headbutt. It looked like the fight was over. It looked like Cintron was down till the 10 count, but I guess he got up right before 9. But the thing was, it caused so much commotion, and Martinez thought the fight was over. I think both corners might have thought the fight was stopped. Everyone came in the ring, and the referee never indicated that the fight was stopped. However, he allowed it to look like it, where everyone in the ring, and it ended up being like 2.5 minute break before the fight was restarted. So, Cintron was claiming it was a headbutt. It was obvious on the replay that it wasn't. Cintron, you know what? I don't like to disrespect fighters or bash fighters, but based on this and what I've seen in other fights, Cintron to me is a front runner, and by that I mean is when things are going his way in the ring, he looks like a killer out there, hence the nickname. But when he starts having a bit of adversity, he starts to get really frustrated. And he lets it show. In the Margarito fight, the first fight with Margarito, he pretty much folded under the pressure. In the second fight, he started complaining about getting hit in the back of the head a lot, when he was the cause of a lot of that with the way he was leaning, ducking down and bending his head down. The Jesse Feliciano fight, he was doing a lot of complaining after the fight with his hand. And in this fight, he actually was complaining about getting hit in the back of the head, so much that Martinez got withdrawn a point, I believe, in the 12th round, which is why it ended up resulting in a draw. But, you know, he leaned down in that punch. It wasn't an intentional punch to the back of the head. If anything, it was more so based on Kermit's actions that caused him getting hit. So, you know, I just don't think that Kermit, he may win titles in the future, but I don't think he'll ever be like the main champion of the division, because I just don't think he has a strong enough mental acumen in the ring. I'm not saying he can't win fights. You know, I just think when the going gets tough, it seems to get to him. He doesn't respond well to it. So also, there was a cut in this fight as well, and the referee said that it was he said this cut was based on a headbutt, and when in actuality it was a punch. So this was the opposite of what the indication was in being off in the first fight, the Angullo fight. But regardless, if the fight would have been stopped, it wouldn't have been stopped for how it should have been, which was it should have been stopped on a punch, not a headbutt. So, you know, once again, the replay discussion came up, and yes, I think it could be a good solution. You know, so as far as, you know, like I said once earlier, if fights get stopped early based on cuts, they can clearly indicate whether it was a punch or if it was caused by a headbutt, thus not causing any controversy. Anyways, in regards to this fight, I think Martinez won. He really looked good in there, looked impressive, showed, you know, I was kind of curious if he's just good against Bunema based on the opponent, but he looked good here, and I don't know if they're going to do a rematch or not, but if they do, I would pick Martinez to win by decision. I think he found a home for that, I think it was a left, I don't know if it was a right or left that he caught Cintron with at 7 when he knocked him down, but after that, he found a home for that punch throughout the rest of the fight, so I think he'd be able to land that and, you know, be more effective. I think he'd be a little more aggressive as he was in the later rounds of this fight. Also, Cintron, I don't think he looked too good at this weight. Looked a lot slower than usual, looked a little sluggish. I don't know if it's the weight gain or what it was, or just the style, but he just didn't fight a good fight. He stayed in the middle of the ring a lot, and that's not going to help him. He wasn't the better boxer of the two. He needed to put more pressure, get Martinez on the ropes and really try to work him there, but he never really did that, and I thought he lost the fight by decision easily. I think that was fairly clear, but somehow he managed to get a draw. Either way, Martinez retains his interim middleweight title, so, you know, that's good for him, if nothing else, in regards to the rest related to that fight. Finally, we had Nate Campbell getting a majority decision over Ali Funeka. I picked Nate to win this fight. I had questions about Funeka because I'd never seen him. You know what? He proved to be pretty much, you know, I wouldn't say he proved himself to me. You know, granted he did get knocked down in the 2nd and the 11th rounds, but other than that, I thought he controlled most of the fight. You know, I didn't agree with the judge's decision. I actually had it 8-4, which would have had Funeka winning by a point or 2, I believe. I thought other than rounds 1, 2, 11, and 12, 4 rounds, I gave every other round to Funeka. Round 3 could have been close and could have gone either way. I gave it to Funeka personally, but I've seen how that could have gone either way. But, you know, I don't think that Campbell won the fight. At best, I would have given him a draw. And I thought it was rather interesting that the judge from Florida, where Campbell hails from, had it 114-111 in favor of Campbell, or 115-111 in favor of Campbell, meaning he gave Campbell 7 rounds. I don't agree with that. I could have given Campbell 5 rounds at best, and that's being generous. You know, that's depending on how you scored round 3. But, you know, at best, I thought it was a draw. I feel really bad for Funeka. He looked really distraught in the corner after the decision was announced. I feel bad for the kid. You know, regardless if he was almost close to getting stopped in the late rounds, I thought he did enough to win the fight. Campbell, regardless if he won, he doesn't get his belts back, and Funeka would have won the belt. So hopefully Funeka will get an opportunity to. He'll still be a number 1 rated or number 2 rated in the belts he was fighting for, and hopefully he'll get a chance to fight for those belts against some other mandatory. You know, since those belts are going to be vacant for the moment. As for Campbell, he's moving up to 140. Sounds like he may be looking for the Holt Bradley winner, or possibly the Hatton Pacquiao winner. I don't think either of those guys are going to fight him. I don't think there's a big enough payday. Zab Judah's supposed to be moving down to 140. Maybe that's a fight that we'll see. I'd like to see that fight, to be honest. I think that'd be exciting. Ricardo Torres. There's a few other names out there, so it'll be interesting to see how Nate does at the higher weight division. But like I said, I thought Funeka won the fight. I'm not going to make a big, you know, not get too upset about it, because it was a close fight. But I just think Funeka won, in my opinion. But anyways, that's it for now, guys. Feel free to leave your comments or whatever. But until next time, I'm out of here. Bye.